The Direct Selling Association of Singapore, DSAS, was formed on the 8th of October 1976 by 5 corporate leaders, including myself, to self-regulate and to allow the spirit of entrepreneurship to flourish within the bounds of the law. During those years, DSAS hosted the World Federation DSA 6th World Congress in 1987 and the 13th World Congress in 2008. With these events, it demonstrated Singapore's DSA's contribution in the global arena. DSA Code of Conduct and Ethics was implemented with the support of the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the recognition from the Consumers Association of Singapore.
The amendment of the MLN Act of 2002 attracted many direct selling companies from all over the world to establish in the Little Red Dot Nation of Singapore. Therefore, DSAS membership has grown significantly. All these years, DSAS worked closely with CASE to conduct many public forums so as to educate consumers and to create awareness of legitimate direct selling practices, as we aim to promote an ethical marketplace for direct selling industry in Singapore. In 2015, DSAS launched K-Trust accreditation scheme for our members, which demonstrate our commitment to fair trading and transparency to consumers.
The direct selling channel offers great quality products and services to consumers. The personal service, expert product advice, and knowledge that the direct sellers provide are what consumers value. In addition, the direct selling channel is an avenue that empowers aspiring entrepreneurs the opportunity to own an independent business with low startup costs and overheads. It empowers them to build a business within their own terms and time, and in the process empower and uplift many more lives. As the world today continues to transform digitally, the direct selling industry also evolves to connect to people and communities digitally. This makes the direct selling channel more relevant than before, especially among the millennials, for empowering aspiring entrepreneurs with quality products and services. Together, let's celebrate 45 years of empowering entrepreneurs and continue to empower and transform many more lives. The future for direct selling is bright, and the best is yet to be.
Congratulations to DSAS for 45 years of support and advocacy for the direct selling industry in Singapore. Happy 45th anniversary!
Congratulations, Singapore DSA. Happy 45th anniversary to you all.
Look forward to the best in coming next year. Happy 45th anniversary.
Congratulations, DSAS. Happy 45th anniversary.
Greetings from the Philippines to all our dear colleagues and friends in the Direct Selling Association of Singapore. Happy 45th anniversary.
Hi, cheers to the future achievements and the past glories. Happy 45th anniversary to Direct Selling Association of Singapore.
Hello DSAS, congratulations on the outstanding performance. I believe you have a successful anniversary virtual conference. All the best from ITVSC Vietnam. Happy 45th anniversary!
Congratulations and my best wishes to everybody in DSC Singapore. We at DSC Myanmar hope to follow in your lead to greater success and many more achievements in the future. Happy anniversary, Singapore DSC. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the Direct Selling Association of Singapore's 45th Anniversary Virtual Conference 2021. Thank you for joining us online. My name is Adrian and I will be your host today. Now, this is indeed a special year as we celebrate our 45th anniversary in the midst of a very different environment. Clearly, we are now more digitally connected than ever, streaming this event instead of being at a physical location together like in the past. Now, despite the challenges and how the pandemic has changed our lives in different ways, it also offers different and new opportunities as we adapt and transform how the industry and business will grow through digital means and new ways of engaging customers and entrepreneurs. Now, micro-entrepreneurship and social commerce are exciting and new opportunities that connect buyers with sellers, which is essentially the core of the direct selling industry, connecting people with people and building great relationships. Now, today we are honored to have a lineup of speakers who will be sharing with us the exciting opportunities that lie ahead and how the industry will continue to achieve growth in the new normal. One of our guest speakers, a seasoned entrepreneur and speaker, will be sharing on the topic of building rich and meaningful digital relationships with customers, an essential skill for today's connected entrepreneur. Now, I'm looking forward to the sessions ahead, and I hope that you'll find them insightful and motivating. Now, to start off our event proper, allow me to introduce our first speaker, Ms. Neo Chui. Ms. Neo was appointed as Chairman of the Direct Selling Association of Singapore in 2018. Prior to that, she served as the first Vice Chairman of the association. As Chairman of the DSAS, Ms. Neo is focused on working with partner companies to achieve the mission and vision of the association, creating an ethical marketplace for the direct selling industry in Singapore, with robust industry standards, achieving strong consumer assurance and satisfaction. Ms. Neo is the General Manager of Nu Skin Singapore and has over 18 years of experience in the direct selling industry. She's a passionate advocate for entrepreneurship and a direct-to-customer platform. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Neo Chui.
Thank you, Adrian. A very good afternoon or good evening to all joining us digitally today as we celebrate the proud milestone of our 45th anniversary of the Direct Selling Association of Singapore. To kickstart this celebration, and on behalf of DSAS, allow me to extend our greatest appreciation and thanks to our guests of honor and distinguished guests for gracing our event. We have with us President of the Consumers Association of Singapore and Member of Parliament for Radimas SMC, Mr. Melvin Yong. Our VIP speaker, Mr. Roger Barnett, the Chairman of World Federation of Direct Selling Association, Chairman and CEO of Shakely Corporation, and Mr. Saurabh Kothari, CEO at Mind Current. We would also like to give special thanks and recognition to the Singapore Tourism Board for co-sponsoring today's event. Thank you for taking precious time off your busy schedules to partake in our 45th anniversary event celebrating and empowering entrepreneurship. The DSAS was formed in 1976 by 5 corporate leaders to self-regulate and to allow the spirit of entrepreneurship to flourish within the bounds of the law. The amendment of the MLM Act of 2002 attracted many direct selling companies from all over the world to establish their businesses in Singapore. DSAS is an affiliate of the World Federation of Direct Selling Association, WFDSA. And we have hosted 2 WFDSA World Congress in 1987 and 2008, and with these events, demonstrated Singapore's role in the global arena. DSAS also interacts regularly with other direct selling associations, particularly those in the ASEAN, to learn best practices. The DSAS memberships have grown significantly since then, and to date, we have a total of 27 member companies, including some global well-known brands and public listed companies. They sell some of the world's most sought-after brands of wellness and nutrition, personal care and cosmetics, home care, clothing, and other products and services. Through the years, we have become the respectable voice of direct selling. The DSAS mission is to establish industry standards, ensure consumer assurance and satisfaction, and to enhance positive perception for the direct selling industry. Our vision is to promote an ethical marketplace for direct selling in Singapore. We uphold this mission from the beginning till now and will continue the great effort. With a common goal to protect consumers' interests, we have an excellent partnership with the Consumer Association of Singapore, CASE, to conduct numerous public forums to educate consumers and assure consumers that their interests are protected when they buy products from DSAS member companies. DSAS is proud to have been awarded with Friend of Case Award by CASE at their 40th anniversary in 2011. And in 2014, DSAS launched the joint DSAS and CASE Trust accreditation scheme for our member companies who demonstrate strong commitment to fair trading and transparency to consumers by having ethical and good business practices in place. As the saying goes, satisfied customers make us happy, and we want to build long-term relationships with our customers. We share a common goal with CASE and continue to collaborate strongly with CASE to protect consumers' interests, enhance consumer confidence and satisfaction. As the world today continues to transform digitally, the direct selling industry also evolves to connect people and communities digitally. This makes the direct selling channel more relevant than before, especially among the millennials, for empowering aspiring entrepreneurs with quality products and services. Last but not the least, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Ms. Amanda Koch, the chairperson of this event committee and her team, the DSAS ESCO committee, and the 27 member companies for coming together to make this event happen. Let's all unite towards our shared aspirations and goals to empower and transform more lives. The future for direct selling is bright, and the best is yet to be. I look forward to many more years of empowering entrepreneurship with all of you. Thank you, and have a great event with us.
Thank you, Chewy. Now, the theme of the 45th anniversary of DSAS is focused on how the direct sales opportunity has over the years made such an impact to many facets of individual lives and the community. Importantly, we're excited of how it will continue to create a positive impact in the years ahead. Next, we are honored to hear from our guest of honor, Mr. Melvin Yong. Mr. Yong has been elected President of the Consumer Association of Singapore on June 2021, succeeding Mr. Lim Biao Chuan. He's the Member of Parliament for the Radin Mas Single Member Constituency, Assistant Secretary General of the National Trade Union Congress, and Executive Secretary of the National Transport Workers Union. Now, he was first elected to the CASE Central Committee in June 2018 and was appointed to the role of Vice President in November 2019. As chairperson of CASE Consumer Empowerment Task Force, he oversaw 2 projects that empower consumers to make informed purchasing decisions. Now, one of the projects, the Price Kaki app, gives consumers easy access to in-store retail prices and promotions of common household items, groceries, and hawker food. Ladies and gentlemen, let's now hear from Mr. Melvin Yong.
Ms. Neo Chow Yi, Chairman of DSAS, Executive Committee members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me to be part of your 45th anniversary celebrations today. The Consumer Association of Singapore and the Direct Selling Association of Singapore have a long history together. In the 1970s, CASE received many complaints against errant salespersons in the direct selling industry. That was when the DSAS was formed to promote good business practices and to regain consumer confidence in the sector. At the inauguration ceremony, then President of DSAS, Mr. Thomas Heng, had pledged to work closely with CASE to address unfair practices and protect consumers' interests. I'm happy to note that in the past 45 years, CASE and DSAS have worked closely together and fostered a strong partnership to jointly promote professionalism and uplift standards in the direct selling industry. For my speech today, I'd like to touch on 3 important shifts that are taking place as a result of today's dynamic and increasingly digital marketplace, and how these will affect the direct selling industry. First, the shift to instant gratification during the purchase process. In today's increasingly digital marketplace, consumers' purchasing habits have changed. Transactions happen quickly with a single click of the button, offering instant gratification to customers. E-commerce platforms gamify their purchase process, offering discounts and limited time offers to entice consumers with more reasons to complete the sales process fast. And this has certainly impacted how direct selling works, as consumers have less patience now. Will this be the start of the end for direct sellers? Direct selling provides business owners with the flexibility and creativity to differentiate themselves from their competitors by providing consumers with personalized services and convenience. Customers enjoy customized product demonstrations which may fall outside of standard retail hours. They can also ask in-depth questions, try their hands on the products, and receive good after-sales service. Having that commitment and dedication to your customers will give direct sellers the advantage in retaining your customers amidst the disruptions in the marketplace. Second, the ever-increasing importance of fair trading and good business practices. In every industry, there will always be a small minority of bad apples who tarnish the entire industry's reputation. The direct selling industry is not immune to this, and therefore, the role that DSAS plays is very important. Over the years, DSAS has taken the lead in creating an ethical marketplace for direct selling in Singapore. Among many things, the association introduced a code of ethics and made it compulsory for every member company to follow it strictly. Member companies also offer a 7-day cooling off period for customers to cancel their purchase without penalty. This is beyond the 5-day cooling off period stipulated by law. DSAS also partnered CASE in various initiatives to promote fair trading and protect consumers' interests. One such initiative is our annual public forum jointly organized to educate consumers about the direct selling industry and how to look out for legitimate direct selling companies. In 2013, DSAS and CASE developed a joint accreditation scheme for its member companies to differentiate themselves from the industry. Today, 12 companies are accredited under the CASE Trust DSAS accreditation scheme. We hope to have more companies to come on board. In today's digital marketplace, it can be easy for unscrupulous sellers to list fake products and cheat consumers out of their hard-earned money. This is why the partnership between CASE and DSAS is even more important today and in the coming years as e-commerce continues to grow exponentially. We need to grow and promote the CASE Trust accreditation to give consumers confidence that they are shopping with a trusted company. Third, the ability to empower anyone to become an entrepreneur through direct selling. According to the World Federation of Direct Selling Associations, direct selling is a US $179 billion industry worldwide. In Singapore, as of 2020, the direct selling industry contributed some $574 million in sales. Every direct seller is an entrepreneur. The internet and digital marketplace will provide an immense potential to help grow your businesses and encourage other like-minded individuals to become entrepreneurs too. As our marketplace continues to evolve, I encourage you to continue innovating and think of new ways to serve your customers better. Your entrepreneurial spirit and creativity will be key in helping you stay ahead of the competition as our economy gradually adjusts to a post-COVID new normal. In conclusion, I'd like to extend my heartiest congratulations to the Direct Selling Association of Singapore, the Executive Committee, and all members companies for your achievements over the past 45 years. The Consumers Association of Singapore will continue to work closely with you and promote an ethical marketplace to benefit both consumers and sellers. Happy 45th anniversary. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Yong, for your sharing and insights. As you know, direct selling is globally represented, and DSAS is an affiliate of the World Federation of Direct Selling Associations. Now, we are honored to have the chair of the WFDSA as our next speaker. Mr. Roger Barnett is chairman of the WFDSA. He previously served as vice chairman of the association. Mr. Barnett is chair and CEO of Shickley Corporation. He began his career at an investment banking firm, and he was also founder and CEO of Beauty.com. Selected as a global leader for tomorrow by the World Economic Forum, Mr. Barnett has also been selected as a young fellow of the National Committee on US-China Relations. Over to you, Mr. Barnett.
Thank you, Ms. Neo Shui, for providing me with the honor and privilege to address the Singapore DSA during this memorable and joyous occasion, the celebration of your 45th anniversary. The Singapore DSA has been an important member of our direct selling industry and our WFDSA family. It has upheld and exemplified the standards that are critically important to the future and well-being of the direct selling industry. We are proud that DSAS members are well recognized by consumers and by CASE. We applaud you and we thank you for all that you have done. In 2020, our world was turned upside down by the COVID pandemic. Millions lost their lives, and the health and livelihood of hundreds of millions of others were deeply impacted. If ever there was a disruption, it was this pandemic. It changed our perspective on health. It changed how we work, how we live, how we interact with another, and how we shop. The pandemic also brought a sharpened focus on disparities in the quality of life that are based on income, on gender, and on race. And while it's challenging to say that there is anything good that came from a global pandemic, there was a renewed sense of how we are all interconnected, sometimes for worse, and also for better. Many of us reevaluated our personal relationships to focus more on what really matters to each of us. We saw many great acts of altruism, and the pandemic also accelerated the future, particularly with advances in technology and the digital economy. The future of where the world is going, the future of where our industry is going, and most importantly, how important the direct selling industry can be to redefine the future livelihoods for hundreds of millions of people. Now, livelihood is a very interesting term. It has come to be associated with earning an income, but its real definition is the means of securing the basic necessities of life. And that is where our industry can lead, to show the world there is a proven, scalable way for all humans to secure the basic necessities of life. And that includes health, income, a sense of purpose, hope and optimism, knowledge, personal development. These are all the elements that our direct selling industry provides to people. And we provide it to anyone and everyone who chooses to join us. Now is the time where we can bring the future of livelihood to everyone. Now is the time we can bring a more powerful and inclusive business model to the forefront of the world's attention. Now is our time to broaden our view of our stakeholders to care not just for our customers, our distributors and employees, but to also care for our communities and our planet. This is our moment to lead, to rise, to shine, and this past year has highlighted the compelling need for what our industry offers. During a year in which unemployment increased in every major country in the world, our industry, the direct selling industry, added 5 million people. While women have been disproportionately impacted by the pandemic-related job losses, this is not new. Women have been steadily declining in the workforce for decades in the largest economy in the world. But our industry is different. The majority of our 125 million representatives are women. And our growth has mostly come from women. Why? Because we have redefined work. to be part-time and flexible. And that is what both women and men increasingly want. A few other statistics to share. Outside of China, we grew our sales and distributor count in every single region of the world. And within the global direct selling industry, health and wellness continues to be the largest product category, followed by beauty and then household. And together, these represent over $1 trillion of addressable market. $1 trillion. In sum, the direct selling industry, we are growing and resilient. We represent the future of work and the future of livelihood and the future of corporate impact to society. So what does this all mean for you? It simply means that there is a lot of opportunity for everyone who is part of the direct selling industry. But we must never rest on our past. We must always embrace the future. Last year, we had the highest level of sales and the most number of people in the 100+ year history of the direct selling industry. And that is precisely why now is the right time to reimagine, reinvent, and redefine what our industry is. That is how we will ensure that we will continuously set new sales and impact milestones and grow for decades to come. So what do I mean by reimagining, reinventing, and redefining our industry? Well, we need to reimagine what it's like in a digital world to build a direct selling business. Today, more than 1 out of every 4 human beings on our planet are connected through some sort of social media platform. In every country, the percentage of retail sales that are made through e-commerce is growing. And there are billions of people who have a mobile phone, providing instant access to information right in their hands. And increasingly, e-commerce is shifting to social commerce, and that is what our industry pioneered more than 100 years ago. We, the direct selling industry, have the opportunity to deploy these digital technologies in a way that significantly enhances and expands the earnings opportunity for our representatives. But we also need to continue to create community and connection in both a digital and physical medium. Reimagining how we create community in a digital world is an important and exciting challenge. Just as companies whose employees are working remotely must solve this issue, it is even more fundamental for our industry to do so. And when we do, we will provide even greater connection and support to millions around the world. We also have to reinvent our notions about who is a direct seller. Entirely new global industries have been created in the last 10 years as a result of the technology behind the cell phone and the needs for hundreds of millions of people to earn a flexible part-time income. This is called the gig economy in the United States. But marketplaces for buyers and sellers of services have cropped up in virtually every free market economy in the world. And these industries have created clear and simple propositions of associating specific actions with clear and specific and simple compensation. So by reinventing who is a direct seller and how they get rewarded, we can expand our industry and include more people in our future. And finally, we need to redefine the conversation about what direct selling is and what our impact is. As companies, we can elevate our reputation and demonstrate our positive social and economic impact to the countries and societies in which we operate. We are going to be quantifying the collective impact of our industry and emphasizing how the direct selling industry is unique in providing a diverse, powerful, and inclusive economy for all. And as part of our process to reimagine, reinvent, and redefine our industry, the WFDSA has undertaken some transformative initiatives, which we will complete during the next several years. our focus has been on advocacy, ethics, and regulatory. And we have assembled an amazing combination of our industry's brightest minds, external consultants, and outside thought leaders to elevate our reputation and our impact. Each committee is led by the chief executive of some of the largest companies in our industry, and I want to personally thank them for their leadership and commitment to helping accelerate the growth of our industry. First is our Advocacy Committee, which is chaired by Ryan Napierski, the CEO of Nu Skin Enterprises. The primary goal of the Advocacy Committee is to elevate our reputation by developing and sharing the messaging around all the good that we do to help people, their communities, and the countries in which we operate. Second is our Ethics Committee, which is chaired by João Paulo Ferreira, the Chief Executive Officer of Natura & Co. Latin America. Over the last several years, we have made substantial progress as an industry to create a rigorous code of ethics. And we're going to continue to raise our self-regulatory standards and improve the monitoring and enforcement mechanisms for compliance. But equally importantly, we want to move beyond compliance by promoting ESG and social responsibility initiatives to increase the value of direct selling for all members of society. And then third, the Global Legal and Regulatory Committee is chaired by Milind Pant, the Chief Executive Officer of Amway. And they are actively partnering with governments and legislators to provide more consistent oversight of direct selling across geographies, while at the same time promoting global recognition of the value and economic contributions of direct selling. Now, preliminary work has already begun on all of these initiatives, and we're going to get significant progress in the next 6 to 12 months. And we are so proud and grateful for all the amazing talent who have volunteered to be part of these various committees. Before I close, I'd like to share a personal reflection. I've always said that the greatest luxury in life is choosing how to earn a living. Now, some of us were born into this industry, some found it by chance, and others like myself searched for years to find a business which could be both profitable and make a positive impact for millions of people. However we all got here, I believe we are all fortunate to be part of this noble industry, where the more we help others, the more successful we become. And so, on behalf of the 125 million members of the World Federation of Direct Selling Associations, I would like to thank you all for all that you do to make the world a better place for so many. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Barnett, for those insights into a post-pandemic environment for the industry and, importantly, new opportunities for direct selling in today's connected marketplace. Now, before we move to our next segment, let's take a break, and it's an opportunity for you to now win some prizes. So if you've been watching closely, I'm sure you have no problem answering these quizzes. Now, a quick tip, the answer to the quiz was shown in our opening video. So how do you take part? It's really simple. First, you'll scan the QR code beside me that you will see shortly, or click the link in the live chat box. Now, the first 10 lucky winners with the correct answers will win a prize. This quiz is open for Singapore Direct Selling Association members only. So are you ready? Here we go. The question is, in which year did CASE launch the accreditation scheme for direct selling companies? Was it 2007, 2011, 2015, or 2019? So put in your answers to the live chat box and good luck. Now, our final speaker for today is Mr. Surab Kothari. Mr. Kothari is an entrepreneur, storyteller, and co-founder of MyCurrent, an award-winning data science platform built on Slack and Microsoft Teams that improves team performance and reduces stress. For over 25 years, he has engaged employees, customers, and partners across 6 continents, delivering over 300 virtual events and 3,000 webinars. Today, he will share on how we can build a rich digital relationship with our customers. Well, I'd like to add that Mr. Kothari is also here with us live in this stream and in the chat. Hello, Mr. Kothari, and thank you for joining us. Now, please engage him in the chat. He's really looking forward to interacting with our audiences, and if you have any questions for him, please go ahead and type it in the live chat. Now over to you, Mr. Katari.
Hi there. In 2017, only 4 years ago, there was a pretty large survey done by the 5th largest insurance company in the world, Willis Towers Watson. Some of you might know them. And the survey asked that over the past 2 years, it's a long time frame, over the past 2 years, in 2017, how many people had experienced severe stress, anxiety, or depression? This was well before COVID. Less than a third of people said that they had experienced that. All right, last year, a similarly massive survey was done by Gallup, and the findings are very, very different. Instead of asking over the past 2 years, they were asking who has been struggling with severe stress on a daily basis, almost every day. And the results are really frightening, right? We're looking at more than 70%. On a workforce level, 80%, 4 out of 5 people are checked out or disengaged. Your customers are struggling to focus, to perform, to stay optimistic, to stay positive. And it's having a huge impact on their work and their lives. So it's important to understand this as we start to embark upon how we're going to build digital relationships with them. We first need to understand where they are. So, how do we do this? You might be wondering, your organization knows leaders across the world. You could have had anybody present this session and talk about what we're going to talk about today. Why am I here? Well, my company, MindCurrent, is a data science platform. We use psychology to help teams improve their performance on a very gradual basis with full privacy. And over the past 2 years, we have been aggregating data on hardworking men and women, just like your customers, across 40 countries. So on a global basis, we've been doing this for many, many users. And so I would like to present the answer to what happened to us with data. What happened to your customers over the past 18 months? Let's start with what happened to them with work. And it's not uncommon to see a certain amount of stress level for managers. It's just sort of what you expect. But what is very interesting in the past 6 months is that the stress level for your customers has gone up significantly for coworkers. How they feel about the people they work with. Okay? This is going to lead into their stressors on a personal level. Stress in their personal lives, again, there's things here that are not that surprising. If any of you are married, I could probably ask you, tell me 3 things that you would like to improve about your spouse right now. And you could tell me immediately, right? Partners or spouses have always been sort of a high level of stress. It's just the way marriage goes. If I asked your spouse, they could probably tell me 10 things that they could improve about you today. But what is really concerning are the stress levels that we're seeing around body and health. And most importantly, the stress levels that we are now seeing for your customers, right? For hardworking men and women around their own thoughts. There's something to be noted here. The increase in stress on a personal level isn't just for introverts who tend to think more and acknowledge more the stress around their thoughts. It's also for extroverts, and it's at a very high level. There's a great degree of stress that people are feeling about the uncertainty or the fear, or really feeling a sort of loss of purpose, okay, and belonging. Now, before we move into how we can build from where they are right now with what they're struggling with into rich digital relationships, let's take a look at the data from just a physiological level as well. In a nutshell, sleep has been destroyed in the past year. People are not sleeping very well, they're sleeping much less, and they're also not sleeping very well through the night, okay? And what they're doing to compensate for this sleep is they're consuming more coffee and tea and less water, which has quite a severe, significant impact on their ability to focus and their ability to make good decisions. It's also harder for them to manage their emotional regulation when you're dehydrated and you're tired, okay? It's going to be harder for them to build relationships, especially online with you, than if you were meeting in person. And the last thing we need to look at is exercise. And more broadly, I'd like to step back and look at movement. We're finding that your customers are not moving nearly enough. I mean, let's put exercise aside. Many of them aren't even moving for 5 or 10 minutes, walking around for 5 or 10 minutes a few times each day. Let's face it, sitting or standing in one position or one place for 8 to 12 hours a day is not natural. It's not what the human body was built to do. And this is creating a lot of stress, these unhealthy routines around movement, around the changes in diet and hydration, and the severe impact that all of this is having on sleep. Now, if you're like me, you're probably feeling like, I just want to help my customers with this, right? You have this urge to want to help them so they can feel better and they can enjoy their life more and also perform better with their work. I get it. I feel the same way. But before you can help your customer, right, we have to do one other thing. The foundation of your digital relationship with your customer, how you're going to build this rich digital relationship, is trust. First, we need to figure out how to build trust with your customer digitally. Now, when it comes to trust in a digital relationship, I'd like you for a moment to think about this like a movie director, like a film director. And what I mean by that is we're going to cover some really, really practical tips about how you build a relationship online that is more trusting, more inviting, warmer, and more personal, even when you don't meet the person on the other side, okay? So we're going to look at lights, sound, camera, but instead of action, we'll look at energy. Let's start with lights, okay? The worst thing you can do when you're meeting people online, when you're building that relationship in a digital format, is to be sitting in front of a large window. Why? There is no source of light on Earth that can compare to the light of the sun. So no matter how much you try to light yourself from the front, if you're sitting in front of a window during the daytime, you're fighting a losing battle. You're going to come across as a dark silhouette, as if you're in some sort of witness protection program. And you may not realize it, but subconsciously you're presenting yourself as if you are hidden, which is a poor emotional message to send to the person on the other side. Why are you in the shadows? What are you hiding? Why are you hiding from me? They're not going to say it. They're polite. But this is psychologically what we think. So you've got to move away from in front of the window and make sure that you are facing a window. If you can't have a window in front of you, right, then at least have it to the side. And make sure that you have light facing onto your face and the rest of your body. Try not to use harsh lighting, okay? When you're meeting people online, when you're building relationships digitally, use soft lighting, either with a filter in front of the light or just soft lighting for the bulb or the light itself, okay? Try to balance your light. The less shadows that you have on your face or your persona, the warmer, more inviting, and the more trustworthy you appear. At the same time, I'm not asking you to wash your face out. We need to see the color of your skin. We need to see the color of your eyes, right? We want to see detail. But you do not want to be sitting in harsh light, and you do not want to be sitting in the dark when you're building online relationships with your customers. Now from lights, let's move to sound, okay? The quality of sound when we are connecting online is arguably the most important thing in building a relationship. From a technical perspective, it is so much more important than what you see on the camera. And why is this, right? Because the human voice is so important to how we build relationships. Also, from a practical perspective, right? If you lose connectivity or your bandwidth drops and you lose your video for whatever reason, or maybe you're just talking to your customer for a few minutes on the phone, there is no video. The quality of your voice, the clarity of your voice is very, very important to build that trust and to make them feel like they're comfortable discussing what you want with them. Invest in a good microphone. It's well worth it if you don't have one for your computer or your laptop or whatever you use to connect online. There's another thing about sound that we need to understand, okay? If you can't hear the other person, it's very hard to understand them, and it's really, really difficult for them to focus on what you're saying and what you're trying to propose or how you're trying to help them if they can't hear you. They can't focus if they can't hear you well, okay? Another thing about the sound of our voices is that there's an innate connection to our psychology. Humans actually start recognizing human voices before we're born. We recognize the voice of our parents, our mother, and our fathers, if they're around during pregnancy, before we are born. It's very comforting to us. We trust those voices. So being able to speak slowly, being able to speak with authenticity, with honesty, okay? And speaking in a more even tone is very helpful for building trust. When you speak too quickly and you're trying to jam everything in, especially if you use jargon and you're not giving the other person a chance to think or let alone to speak, it really seems like you're trying to convince yourself, which means, wait a second, I can't trust this person. They're trying to convince themselves. Why are they trying to convince me, right? Practice your voice, practice the way you present. You have plenty of time to express what you need to your customer. Slow down, be clear, be compassionate, be considerate in the way that you're speaking. Don't rush when you are speaking to your customer online. From sound, we move to camera, okay? The first thing we need to think about with camera is the distance that you are from the camera. Look, when you're FaceTiming or doing a video chat with your friends, it's totally fine to get right into the camera and in their face. Or when grandma is FaceTiming with you and you can see the facial hair on her face because the camera is so close, that's okay. That's an intimate relationship between you and your friends and your family. You hug these people, right? It's not what you want when you're presenting professionally, okay? You want a certain amount of distance from the camera. You don't want to be too close. And this goes beyond just how you're coming across professionally. There's psychological reasons for this. When tested, right, with different audiences, when a person's face shows up on a screen, the number one reaction that we naturally have when that face is too close or it's too big is actually to flinch. It's rather shocking. It's not natural to see a face so big or to see a face so close to us, right? It just triggers our flight and fight response. So 6 inches, move 6 inches away from the camera than what you're used to, and give the camera space to capture your surroundings, okay? This will help you appear more trustworthy, more inviting, and less impatient or less demanding to your customer. The other thing that it helps, especially if you're meeting with your customers more regularly, is that the further away from the camera you are, the less likely the person on the other side is going to suffer from Zoom fatigue after speaking with you for 15, 20, 30, or even a longer 60-minute session. There's just more room. It's more comfortable. All right. Apart from distance on camera, there's another aspect to the camera we need to think about, and it's important from a psychological perspective again, and that's the camera angle. If you're using a laptop and you've never really changed the angle, then you're probably presenting down to the person, right? You're actually looking down of them. That's where the webcam is. And they're looking probably somewhat up your nose, okay? Apart from not being the most flattering angle, right? The other problem is that you are actually appearing above them. You are looking down on them. Psychologically, that's a power play, okay? It's the same issue that people have with height. No one likes to always be looking up at other people, okay? Just ask your friends who might just naturally be shorter than others. It's really frustrating for them that people are always looking down on them. So with your laptop, add a few books right underneath, or a really solid filled cardboard box that doesn't move, and get your camera on your laptop or your desktop, whatever it is you're using to connect with your customers, get it to eye level. In fact, it's actually better if you're looking slightly up at the camera. This will not only help you look up to your customer as you build relationships with them, it also maintains better posture for you. You're not leaning down and your neck is not looking down at a camera all the time. You're looking slightly up and you're forced to sit up more. Okay? Now the last one, remember when we were talking about loud lights, sound, camera, it wasn't action, it was energy. Okay? And what I mean by energy is sensing your customer's energy, their mood, right? Are they tired? Do they seem restless? Okay? Are they excited or happy, or are they worried? It's very important to sense your customer's energy when you're building a relationship with them online. What you want to do, especially in the beginning when you're first getting to know them, but even every time you interact with them digitally, use the first 15 to 30 seconds to sense their mood, okay? Wherever they are, here's your job as their guide, as someone who's trying to help them, right? In a rich, ongoing relationship. Your job is to take them from where they are to halfway to where you want them to be in every interaction, but you can't do that. You can't get them to a positive, a problem-solving, a trust-building place, right? Where they can open up about their needs and what they want and how the product may or may not be helping them. You can't get them there if you don't start closer to where they are. You need to sense their energy level, you need to match it, and then move the narrative to the energy towards where you want it to be. If you come across as a second-hand car salesman, and you're just high energy all the time, and you're super positive, right? Nobody likes this. Nobody likes being bombarded by high energy when they haven't had a good day, when they've got a lot on their mind. They're going to start to tune you out, and very soon they're not going to look forward to that interaction with you because it's not a good match, right? You don't gel with them, and for whatever reason, you're not noticing that either. There's no empathy being displayed on your part or demonstrated to show them that you understand what's happening with them. Cool? So I hope you found these tips on building trust over a digital connection helpful. Now, let's talk about value. What's the most valuable thing for you in the whole world? Now, I know some of you might be thinking, well, obviously my children, or for some of you, my parents, or you might say my health, right? The thing that's most valuable to each of us in the entire world isn't tangible at all. It's our time. And why is that, you might ask? Because time carries with it infinite possibilities. Think about what you could do with an extra hour. Think about somebody you've lost, like a grandparent or a parent or a friend in the past few years. How would it feel to get one more hour with that person? So if your time is so valuable, isn't that true for your customers as well? In order to build rich digital relationships with your customers, you need to show them that their time is valuable. You need to create value from their time. And how do you do that? This is where I'll introduce to you the 3 P's of value in digital relationships. Okay, the first P, positive. And I'm not talking about toxic positivity, okay? I'm talking about making their time with you positive for them. I don't want you to have to feel like you have to smile all the time or joke or flatter them. No. I'm talking about really positive outcomes. How do you use the time you have with them to solve their problems? How can you be helpful in the time that you spend with them? When you create positive experiences for your customer, they associate those positive feelings with you. And they're more willing to spend time in the future with you because it's rewarding to them. The second P, personal. Let's get personal, very personal. Most of our digital experiences are very impersonal. The content may be personalized, but Facebook, Insta, email, WhatsApp, these are all pretty much the same experiences for each of us. They're not personal. So when you are spending time with your customers online, you want to make it as personal as possible. Look, knowing your customer well, that's good customer service. But demonstrating that you know them well, that's good sales. How do you do this? How do you demonstrate? Instead of asking me how my family is, ask me how Neela is. That's my eldest daughter. How is she liking 4th grade in this hybrid school environment? You ask me that in the first minute of our meeting, and you've already won me. I'm ready to listen to you, trust you, and go where you want to go because you're demonstrating that you personally know and care about me, that the time we're spending together is my time. It's about what matters to me. Most people don't want to learn about your product. I'm sorry. They don't even really want to learn about you or your leadership. What they're most interested in learning about is themselves and what is going to happen for them in the future, their future self. What's going to change? And can you help them with that? The third P is all about business. It's about making it practical. And what I mean by that is making things actionable. Okay? I'm going to ask you a question. What's the number one reason people don't buy something online? And I know what we've covered, you're going to say, oh, it's a lack of trust, or it's a lack of value. No, the number one thing that's keeping somebody from making a purchase online is a lack of urgency. You may have helped to answer the question why they need to buy this and why they need to buy it from you. But you've got to be able to answer the question with certainty and confidence of why they need to buy this from you now. That's what drives the purchase and builds the digital relationship. Okay? So in order to make things actionable, you've got to provide practical solutions, things they can do right now and things that are easy to do. And how do you do this? Like what? Well, instead of telling you, why don't I demonstrate? Do you have your pen ready? Okay, let me give you some practical tips right now for building value into your digital relationships. Tip number 1, give your customers some of their time back. It doesn't even need to be more than 5 minutes, but plan your agenda and your engagement with them. Plan the time so that you have time to answer their questions, but give them some of their time back and early. They will love you for this. Plus, it shows that you respect and value their time deeply. Tip number 2, follow their personal news. When you've determined what's important to them in their life, follow that topic or that place or that thing online. Let the news service or social media or thought leaders for that thing, let them give you rich digital touch points that you can share with your customer simply by following online what's important to them. Practical tip number 3, you can do this right now. Before you engage with your customer, I'd like you to do something personally. This one's for you. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. In. Hold. Out. Hold. If you can, 5 seconds in each of these steps. This pattern, it's called box breathing. It's even done by Navy SEALs. Why? Before you engage with your customer online, doing this for just 45 seconds or a minute, it drives a lot of oxygen to your brain and it grounds and calms your body. That's your third practical tip. These are things you can do right now and they'll help you move forward. Okay. That's how we can help to create value with our customers' time. Now, I'm going to talk about the last thing we'll cover today, which is empathy. Okay? To understand empathy, I'm going to ask another question. What's the most important communication skill that you can have? Is it confidence? Is it clarity, honesty, or listening? It's listening. Listening is your gateway to empathy. When you are able to listen, you're able to understand your customer's situation, what's most important to them. You start to see things from their perspective and you start to solve their problems, not yours. You can't do this if you're not able to listen. If you don't listen, your ability to provide value and build trust is severely compromised. Okay? Empathizing with your customer, it allows you to go beyond providing information or insights. It allows you to focus on how your customer can actually use those insights. How is it valuable to them? Not just what you're saying, what are they hearing? Okay? As an example, it'll help you realize something as you communicate with your customers digitally. You know what they'll remember most in a meeting? It's the thing you say last. Everybody operates the same way. The way you end the meeting will be the thing that's most memorable for them. So make sure you end strong and you end with demonstrating empathy, creating value for them, not about yourself. Okay? And make sure the actions you give them at the end of the conversation or meeting are clear and easy. Okay? That's how we work through value and we work through empathy in building rich digital relationships with our customers. Now, I'd like to end, our time together by telling you a little bit about myself, just so that you feel comfortable reaching out with help across any of this as you build rich digital relationships. Even though I'm joining you from the West Coast of America, from Beaverton in Oregon, where Nike is based, I'm actually not from here. I'm like you. I grew up in Southeast Asia, specifically in Hong Kong and in Bangkok. And I've traveled many times through Singapore to KL and into Indonesia, beyond Jakarta, into Surabaya and Bandung and back. So when I talk about building digital relationships in Southeast Asia, in the region, this is something I know. I'm talking about my home, where I'm from. And I hope that you can feel the connection I have with you today and know that I am here to help. So please, reach out if you need anything. And I want to personally thank you for what you're doing. You're helping so many people live healthier, happier lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Katari, for your sharing and for joining us in our broadcast today. I know we all benefited and have a much better idea on how to build a rich digital relationship with our customers. Now, with all the great content shared, it's now time for our second quiz. Now, if you've been taking down notes from Mr. Katari's sharing, I'm sure you have no problem to answer this next question. Just a quick recap on how to take part. Simply scan the QR code that you will see very shortly, and I'll click on the link in the live chat box. Now, the first 10 winners with the correct answers will win a prize. This quiz, once again, is only open for Singapore Direct Selling Association members. Are you ready? All right, here you go. Here's the question. What is the most important communication skill? Is it clarity, listening, empathy, or openness? Once again, your answers in the live chat box. Good luck, everyone. For 45th anniversary celebration this year, we're really honored to have the Singapore Tourism Board as an event co-sponsor. Here's a short video presentation of one of its latest initiatives.
As travel resumes in the future, it is important for us to ensure that visitors can actually have peace of mind as they go around Singapore while knowing that their personal well-being is still being taken care of. So it is important to re-look and recreate how itineraries can be designed. For a start, being able to build an itinerary around the needs of the travelers based on their risk appetite, based on their profile, is critical. Secondly, all the itineraries have been done such that it takes in consideration our safe management measures. Thirdly, in terms of movement of visitors, they will all be moving via private transportation. And last but not least, all our tourist guides have been trained to offer concierge-like service so that they can offer that personalized, bespoke experience.
I've been to Singapore like many times, but this experience that we do now is really great. We're visiting the Kampung Glam, Little India, Chinatown. Instead of what we do usually going for shopping or the usual sightseeing, each group is only 4 to 5 people. And then we walk around with only this group.
The controlled itinerary didn't take away at all the fun part of the tour or the experience that we have here in Singapore. We get to experience going to Gardens by the Bay, to the night safari, and the Vespa tour was really a different experience. How I wish I have more time to actually explore more of the city using the Vespa. It's truly a very different and unique experience.
The briefing beforehand was all very thorough, and I would say it was very unobtrusive. It was all very smooth, and I was very impressed because I came here wanting to see how it's done and to use Singapore as an example to the world and certainly to the UK to see how you can put these safe and healthy procedures in place but don't take away from the main experience.
From this pilot event, we have actually gained a lot of insights. We work with experienced providers and venue suppliers to create a safe route for our delegates to enjoy the experiences and activities. And it will help us in planning different itineraries for the future of travel.
Now, in November 2020, Singapore successfully hosted ITB Travel Revive, the first international hybrid travel trade show in Asia-Pacific set amidst the global COVID-19 pandemic. Now, in addition to being streamed live to a global audience, the trade show was also attended by more than 1,000 local and international attendees. International visitors even got the chance to tour around Singapore safely. Since then, Singapore has piloted over 60 meetings, and the Singapore Tourism Board is optimistic about the future of the events industry. Here at DSAS, we look forward to working closely with the Singapore Tourism Board to make Singapore the top choice for business events. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the virtual conference and celebration of DSAS's 45th anniversary. I hope you've enjoyed the event and, importantly, benefited from the sharing of knowledge, experiences, and insights from all our esteemed speakers today. It has been my honor to host the 45th anniversary celebration of the DSAS, and thank you for joining us virtually. We look forward to an exciting and bright future ahead. Meanwhile, stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.